Hey guys, welcome to another video on the Inside Spurs channel. Happy the Thursday afternoon. I hope the day is treating you all very, very well. Apologies for being 10 minutes late to my usual slot. Had a busy morning. Things happen, don't they? But yeah, hope we're all okay. Hope it's probably going to rain later, so hopefully wherever you are, it's at least a little bit better than where I am. In this video, though, as you can see on the thumbnail, we're going to talk a little bit about Dominic Solanke and quite an interesting report that came out around him. We're going to talk about the Ito to Bayern move, which actually happened just as I ended the stream last night, the 7 p.m. stream. And on top of that, we're also going to be talking a little bit about this Wieffer, not sure how to say his name, apologies, going potentially to AC Milan and what that may entail for Spurs. So quite a few cool things to get into today. I hope you're all okay. And if you're new and you're watching this, please subscribe. You're very much welcome to join us for the journey. And yeah, can't believe Ito to Bayern happened. Well, Dan, I'll talk about it. Darius, mate, how are we, buddy? How are you, mate? You're right. Hopefully you've charged your phone again, mate. A lot of targets coming off the board. Damn, afternoon Spurs, mate. Afternoon Hogan, how are we, buddy? So yeah, let's get in and talk about Solanke first and foremost. And this might not be the best news for one Polly Cooper, but basically it came out from Graham Bailey, who said that Chelsea have an interest in bringing Dominic Solanke back to Stamford Bridge. They've said that Chelsea have been doing work on a number of forwards. Victor Gyökeres, Lois Openda, Artem Dovbyk, Ivan Toney, and Julian Alvarez have all been discussed, as well as John Duran, the Villa youngster. I mean, let's look at this list. I mean, Solanke, he's on our list of strikers that we like. Victor Gyökeres, the same. Openda, the same. Ivan Toney, the same. So there's the thing with so many teams wanting so many strikers, and there are quite a few strikers out there that we're interested in. Solanke, Openda, Gyökeres, Toney, all being on that list. We've been told about Marmoush, we've been told about Garassi, we've been told about. Always fails me that I can't remember the full list, but there's so many strikers that we're in for or keen on, and that's the issue with Arsenal wanting a striker. It's the issue with Chelsea wanting a striker. It's the issue with Atletico Madrid wanting a striker. It's the issue that, maybe even PSG wanting a striker. There's so many teams in for strikers, and it does make the market so congested that it is so hard to predict who the hell Spurs are going for. I don't see Chelsea having a homegrown issue. I don't think, obviously, depending on like sales of summer, but previous, Sterling, Gallagher, Chalobah, Colwill, Madueke. Yeah, I don't think they have a homegrown issue. So I don't truly know, but, it could be just, they want him back. And obviously, he has a £65 million release clause for the top six. So I think Bournemouth will be pushing for the full 65, Doan Solanke, I think he's an average forward. Oh, Eddie's not pulling punches. Arsenal heard yesterday that Celso's played the full 90 minutes for us 9 times in 5 years. Amazing stat. It's bonkers, that stat. Won't get Eze or Gallagher, but fear not, we'll get Solanke. Well, Polly, by the looks of things, we might not. Might not. Afternoon, Sofian. How are you, mate? From a player's perspective, how attractive would you say a Chelsea project is, considering their late history and new manager, though? Well, Ray, you think about it, Chelsea are going to pay you big money. They are in Europe next year, so in the Conference League, because Man United won the FA Cup, so they leapt into technically what is like finishing 6th, and then Chelsea finishing 7th, going to the Conference League, and Newcastle missing out on European football because of that. The way I look at it is when you think about Gallagher wants to lead Chelsea into this new tenure that if you succeed, you are credited with it. And if you're a striker and you score 20 odd goals for Chelsea, you might be credited with it, Milton, we just talked about Chelsea wanting Solanke so far. You haven't missed anything too crazy. Afternoon, Kamagoo, mate. How are you? Just finished in a 15-hour shift, back to work in 5 hours. God, Milton, mate. Milton, head off, get some sleep, bud. Head off, get some sleep. That's brutal. So there's that on Solanke. Right, let's talk about Hiroki Ito. Oh, Daniel Levy's back. Careful. Mind what you say. Daniel, any updates, Daniel, on Eze? Afternoon, Andy. I know the window hasn't opened, but with our money clout or an already made room in our squad. It's always frustrating me that I haven't got anything done. Ito's gone to Bayern. Yeah, I mean, one thing I would say, Dean, is look at the Premier League sides and their activity. And this is what I was explaining yesterday. There's a few people that are upset with the lack of activity of Spurs, and I said, well, hang on, just to kind of give you the lay of the land, activity wise, the Premier League hasn't really done anything, transfers wise. So what I would say is just hold off on firing off on Spurs, and Levy and all those people, even if you're a Levy in or Levy outer, just hold off. Wait till teams start making moves. Once they start making moves and Spurs aren't in there, then I would be understanding. But, we've moved off players. Other teams maybe have moved off players, but, no one's bringing in players as such just yet. Watch your space inside, smoke screen, drives the price down, moves off food shopping. See you later, Bolly. See you later. Afternoon, Sonia. You had issues. Do you still have issues now, Sonia? Or rather, Solanke over Tony? Yeah, I don't think there's a ton in it between the two of them, if I'm honest. Villa making moves, though. Chelsea signing Villa strike. Well, Villa just need to sell, Dean. That's not about them, bringing anyone in, AC Milan want a striker. Arsenal want a striker. PSG want a striker. Man United want a striker. West Ham want a striker. And Brentford might replace Tony. And Real Madrid surely look to replace Benzema. Sofian, you might have forgotten that Real Madrid might have already solved that this summer. I don't know if you remember. There's a guy called Kylian Mbappe, and he's not playing on the wing, not with Vinicius Junior and Rodrigo, and obviously still got Bellingham as well. Must be nice having those players. No Brian Hill, but it must be nice. AC Milan will be signing Joshua Zirkzee as well. I wouldn't consider Brentford a rival, but yeah, we'll see about West Ham and people like that. Tammy Abraham, not happening. Don't worry, bud. Milton, it's 12:17 right now in England, mate. 12:17. You still can't hear me, Sonia. Is that right? I think everyone else can hear me, Sonia. What I would recommend is closing YouTube and then reopening it and then opening up the video. Maybe that might do it. Big up, Clement, mate. How are you, bud? But they're getting McKennie and Billing Jr. for a Villa player. Yeah, but that's not them actively going out to get those players. That's them being offered those players. There's a difference between the two. Mbappe is not a number 9. He can't score a header. Well, he can come play bloody number 9 for me. No issues, buddy. Evening, Percifer. How are you, buddy? I'm good, though. I'm good. I'm very well. Jim saw my gran. Hence why I'm a few minutes late starting this video. But I'm good, mate. How are you? Solanke, I prefer. Yeah, I don't think there's crazy amount in there, Good evening. Oh, good evening to you, Lex. Late again, honestly. Lex was 7 minutes in. How dare you? You can hear me now. Good question. Good question. I get what you're saying, mate. Oh, occasionally I speak sense, Dean. Don't think I always do. Can I ask you a question, Andy? What made you a Spurs fan? Well, a few factors, but the main one was it was the first team I actually watched play. It was the 02-03 season, and it was Liverpool at home. We lost 3-2, and it was the first game that I watched Gerrard and was like, that guy's pretty good. And by this time, I was only like 6 years old. I was like, I don't know who that is, but he's really good. But yeah, it was the first time I watched, and I sat behind one of the goals at White Hart Lane, and it was yeah. Even though you lost, you always remember your first game, and it was magical. So yeah, that's why, Milton. We should stump up the cash and get a Pender. You've Raj threatening me with a good time again. You threatening me a good time, you Raj there. I wouldn't mind him. Hi, either Solanke or Tony will fine. And if we get Gallagher in the middle, then we pretty got a solid first team for next season. Chaotic Nuggets, class name for one. 2, gonna need more than that though, buddy, aren't we? But I like where you're thinking. Right, that's that on Solanke. Right, moving on. Oh, Dortmund manager's just left. Edin Terzic, he's just left Dortmund. It's just come out now. Don't know if any of you cared. Bonkers. Right, moving over to Mats Wieffer. And it said from Matteo Moretto, said the final midfielder is valued at 20-25 million. And is ready for a new experience. AC Milan is in on Mats Wieffer. The Rossoneri club has started initial contact several days ago. And Romano doubled down and said that Milan made contact with his agents. Discussions took place in the recent days. He's one of the names in the shortlist for midfielder, with player also attracted by Milan. Contacts will continue to explore final position on price tag. So that's interesting. I mean, when we look at it, when we think of our transfer sort of list of players that we're interested in per position, it does kind of start to feel like a few players are starting to come off that list. And you will never, it doesn't matter if they're number 1 on the list or number 10 on the list, but it does feel like some of them are starting to come off, JC, mate, how are you? How are you, buddy? I would love Terzic at Tottenham Hotspur. I prefer Ange Postecoglou. Does the window open tomorrow? It does. And so does the Euros. Germany play tomorrow. Yeah. Very well. Dust off the cobwebs and hit the gym for the first time after rehabbing a back injury for many years. Onwards and upwards. Hell yeah. Do you know what, Persifar? I've got my summer fruit squash. I'll drink to that, buddy, because that is a bloody. That's the best news I've heard all day. Well done to you, buddy. Make sure you keep stretching, keep rolling out, keep looking after yourself. Don't push it too hard too soon. Take a couple of weeks to get yourself back up to get steam. All right. I support Spurs back in the early 90s. Everyone supported Arsenal, Man U, Liverpool, and I hate the colour red. Gosh, that's a fair enough reason to not support them then. Get those likes in, people, if you like the stream and chat. Appreciate that, Dean. Yeah, drop a like if you haven't already, lads. Share it with your friends and all that stuff. Obviously, subscribe if you're new. Don't forget that bad boy. I thought Xerxes was going to sign for AC Milan. Yeah, I still think he will. I think Emerson will be our first outgoing, Højbjerg second. You mean of like sales, you mean? Because we've had outgoings already, but you mean selling of outgoings. Fair enough. I'd probably say Højbjerg won't be second. I'd say Jed Spence would be second. So there is that on Mats Wieffer. Right, this Hiroki Ito one, I think probably had ruffled a few feathers from some people yesterday. And I finished the stream, what was it, about 8 o'clock, right? Finished the stream, and it literally hit my phone as soon as I finished the stream. And I was like, how typical is that? So Hiroki Ito to Bayern, here we go. Agreement in place with the player for 5-year contract. Next step, medical tests. Bayern trigger €30 million release clause and from Stuttgart for the 25-year-old defender. They also remain in talks to sign Jonathan Tah. Now, I was thinking about as to why. And basically, I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, hang on. I remember seeing that list of about 6 to 8 players they want to move off of. And I remember Matthias de Ligt being a part of that list because he's deemed expensive, right? And they want to move him on. And they want to replace him with Jonathan Tah. Then I was thinking, is Ito the Davies replacement? Is that way they're going? I don't know. But look, Bayern have always been a team that go early, but they're a team that pinches any of the good players in their own league normally. So yeah, it's one of those ones, really. I'm good, thanks. Just waiting for that first sign and hope all's well. Yeah, I'm well, buddy. I'm well. Busy day, but I'm well. I think we're all waiting for that first sign. To be honest, I think we're all waiting for the Euros to start now. I don't know about you guys, really quick. I know it's a step away from Spurs. The build up to the Euros has been so rubbish and boring. And I don't have the pump. I don't have the excitement for it. I think once it gets going, I'll be up for it. But it's just been a bit dead so far. Are Spurs starting to burn the deadwood in the club? We've not got pitchforks and fire on them, mate. No. But we're selling them or moving them on. Yeah, we have. Tanganga's moved on. Perisic's deal's ended. Dyer's moved on officially. Sessegnon's gone. Emerson's obviously in talks to leave. Spencer's in talks to leave. Yeah, we're moving on players for sure. I think we're going Lashoro Geertruida potentially. He's definitely on the list. Another Spurs target goes to Bayern. The other one goes to Juventus with this manager, Tolino. Not sure who Tolino is. Centre-back Napoli. I strongly need to get him. Who do you think we get for less centre-back? Oh, I really don't know, mate. Do you know what, Chris? I really don't know at the moment because, we were linked with Bongiorno, and obviously that looks like it happened to Napoli. Ito's off to Bayern. Calafiori will go to Juventus. I really don't know, mate. I really don't know. I think Tammy Abraham will go to West Ham. It's a good move for Tammy. I'm not sure it's the right thing for West Ham. Abraham is better than Richarlison. Yeah, probably. Yeah, I agree. Afternoon Coos, right foot, mate. How are we? An early finish. Oh, look at you part-timer. You picked Portugal to win the Euros. Being Portuguese, I have to believe. That's fair enough, mate. It's like being English. I have to believe, even though it hurts every single time. Sweden aren't in the Euros, so my interest is minimal, but we don't qualify for tournaments anymore. We're on a bad run, missing 3 in a row. And there's a lot of talent for the Swedish team. We know of Kulusevski. We know of Bergvall, but you've got other players like Isaac in there as well. There is talent in the Swedish squad. They just need to just get it all together at the right time. Buongiorno wants to play for the first team. Well, he would get minutes. I think. Right. I'm going to say this again. I say it every single stream. I feel like stop looking at the starting 11 as the only 11 that's ever going to play. Rotation is a thing that happens at all top clubs. They have an ability to replace a player if he gets injured and not have a drop off. Why is it that Spurs and us, we sit here and think we've only got 11? That's all. That no one wants to play. No one wants to come with us because we've got this 11, and this 11 is so good. Teams want to go and join Chelsea, Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, regardless of their 11. We should be thinking the exact same. So if we wanted a Buongiorno, if we truly wanted him, try for him. And if his thing is, well, you're not going to play me, then that's the issue, that we're not selling the deal properly. Because the deal should be, no, we're going to have 4 great centre-backs who are all going to compete for starting places every single week. Everyone's going to play a good 20, 30, 40 games a season, Let's get Isaac. Yeah, it might be nice, Milton. I still think we might steal our man Ricardo from Juventus. I wish, Lex. I don't see it, but I would love it. And the only reason why I don't see it is because it's Juventus, massive club in Italy. He wants to stay in Italy, and obviously Motta is now there. He's managed from Bologna. Who do you think will be our first signing? I hope it's Eze, but I think it could be someone that we don't know about personally. Someone under the radar. Technically, Timo Werner's our first signing, but you know what I mean. Mate, I'm English and lived in France most of my life. It's become unbearable now. Please, let England win, or at very least, France not win. Smug and French is an awful mix. Mate, we should have we should have had France in that semi-final. We were miles better than them, and obviously then they stunk up the joint in the final. And again, we would have been better than them in the final as well. But they took their chances. The referee had enough love for them. The amount of times Teo Hernandez should have been booked for kicking Saka, but because it's Teo Hernandez and everyone thinks he's one of the best left backs in the world when he's not, you can't. There's nothing you can do about it. Do you know what? Is he even the best left back in Milan? DiMarco's been brilliant this season. He's probably better than DiMarco, but my point is he is overrated in my opinion. And when teams are spending, wanting to spend 80, 90, 100 million on him, let them have him. I'll always have Dusty Udogie over him personally. Can't defend. That's my issue with Teo Hernandez. I'd love Milinkovic Savage class completely play Ange ball. He's in Saudi now, mate. We're not getting him. Gallagher first signing. Potentially. Again, but they're going to want to wait till the end of the month. And I foresee a deal being done in the next week and a half. So I'm not sure it'll be him. Good, glad you agree, Tony, mate. Later, Van Gogh, mate. We're 17 minutes in and you turn up late again. If you turn up late, don't bother turning up. No, I'm joking, buddy. How are you? You're right. Got to make sure you have your notifications on. Although one thing I would say is apparently Marseille have sent a contract proposal to De Zerbi. Good for him. If we sign a striker, then we don't get a proper CDM. Would it be a great window? There's no reason why we can't get a striker and a CDM. Being Portuguese, living in odds, we have no football. Yeah, you don't. You definitely don't. You're starving for it, mate. How are you? I can't find, mate. How are you, buddy? No, we won't get Gallagher. He'll stay at Chelsea. Potentially, Milinkovic Savic would prefer to live in London than in Saudi. Yeah, but we're not going to be paying him the money that he's on in Saudi. We wouldn't even pay a fraction of that. Good day, Mr. Beats. How are we, buddy? You all right? Leave on a free chance for next year. Look, he signs a contract or he's gone. That's the way I'm looking at it. Ito to Bayern hurt me. Yeah, it happened literally right after the stream happened. It was bonkers. It'll be someone not at the Euros. Potentially. Do you think we're going to buy a random youngster this summer like we have Bergvall, Sarr, and Dogi? I would say there might be someone in there, yeah. Maybe not random, because I think, this is what I love. Twitter will tell you, no, I've known about Dogi since this age, and I've known about this guy since this age. You haven't. You're full of crap. I think something maybe more so we know of them this time, but maybe like a championship youngster. It could be a Somerville from Leeds, for example. I'm not saying it would be, but I'm just saying it could be that kind of vibe. Where were you when Mora scored that hat trick? Do you mean the Ajax game? And if you meant the Ajax game, I was in the pub. We were 2-0 down at half time. I was sitting next to my friend who also supports Spurs. And this is a funny story. I was like, it's done. It's done. It's a good run and all that. And I was a bit miserable. And then I saw Llorente getting brought on. And I went, well, okay, we really are done now. And then lo and behold, all that stuff happened. And obviously this was the time I was working in a former job, and I saw someone that I was dealing with that day, and he was playing pool, and I was screaming when that goal went in, and he was like, good Lord. But yeah, magical night. And Nesri Knicks get you nervous. They probably do. We do need a better striker, agreed. Sweden has a decent front line, Isaac Kula, Gyökeres, and can even put in an Alanga in there. Midfield and defense isn't the same quality, though. But, Bergvall coming through, that'll help you. You might even play Kula in the midfield and then play a front three of Isaac, Gyökeres, and Alanga. Which, if you have a Kula in midfield with a Bergvall, those front three, that's not bad. That's not bad, is it, really? I would love to sign the FC Porto manager's son, Chico. Don't know who that is, mate. Would you take Solanke 45 million available? Yes, I would. On defensive side of things, I've been looking at Harry Souttar. Yeah, you've got a thing for Harry Souttar, bud, haven't you? Jonathan David linked with Spurs for 30 million. I've not seen it personally, or at least I've not seen a good enough link to it. Also, Rooney's your name. Mental. I don't know, Milton, if I'm honest. Solanke would cost 65 million. I'd rather go Jimenez. If Santiago Jimenez was Brazilian, he'd be worth 100 million. Maybe, but that proves the point that not every Brazilian is what you should go for, And I wouldn't want Santiago Jimenez if he was 100 million and he was Brazilian. I wouldn't want him. Hey, Anna, just got here. How's your day going? Good, James, mate. Good. I went to the gym earlier. I've went saw McGran, and she offered me a cup of coffee, and then straight away snapped away and went, "Oh yeah, you don't drink coffee." And I'm like, "Nope, no, I don't." And then asked me about if I had a girlfriend about 10 times. So good, normal time on my gran. How are you, James? Though you're right. Jonathan David is a good shout. Might flop though. Yeah, I'm not sold on Jonathan David. I could see a Jonathan David at West Ham, though. I could. It just screams West Ham. Marshall, how are you, buddy? You right? I follow FC Porto. Look at Chico. I'll have to check him out, Milton. Well, Beats, we still need another midfielder, mate. And we're not signing Gyökeres and Bakayoko. That alone is going to be 140 million, and that's not a good use of money, in my opinion. I'd much rather an Eze, a Fofana, and a couple of fullbacks for that kind of money. And then you can go and get a striker. Boom. There you sorted, good to see, James. I'm glad you are, mate. I also like Jimenez, and realistically, he's probably the one we will get. I think it's between him, Tony, and Solanke. That's my out and out shout. Please don't talk about Jonathan. He won't make it into the top Premier League teams, top 10 Premier League teams. There's a lot of people that don't rate Jonathan David. I think Jonathan David's solid. He's not what I want, but I think he's solid. That's what I'm saying. For a lower league team, I think he'd be good. Jonathan David is awful. This is the thing. His first touch is awful. His finishing ability is not there. I'd rather kick Richie. We're not selling Richie for Jonathan David, Sofian. Don't worry. It's Chico time. Nice Kula's right foot, mate. Nice one. I was wondering if someone might make that joke. I know he scored a lot under Fonseca, but you should realise Fonseca plays a very attacking football. And Spurs don't. You're starting for tomorrow for Spurs as a CDM. I love that. Love that. Milton putting a few 2 foots early doors. Love it. Let them know they're early. 60 million I heard for Tony from TalkSport. It's TalkSport. I try not to take any notice from them. Striker these days sucks. Rather have 2 wingers, striker up front like Real Madrid's. Well, Real Madrid had 2 wingers and Bellingham up front, who's a centre mid. What's happening around the Nico Williams link? Nothing as to anything serious right now, Aaron. Got the release scores of what is it? 42.5, 43.5 on big money per week. Nothing right now on that front. David won't take us to that level. We're not in for Jonathan David. Someone asked about Jonathan David. I explained, but we're not in from him. Don't worry. Ivan Toney or double sweep for Jimenez and Wieffer? Well, Jimenez is going to cost similar to what Tony is. So surely is it Ivan Toney and Wieffer or Jimenez and Wieffer? I have a question. Would you swap Christian Romero for Camavinga or Valverde? No. Christian Romero is world class. And I think Valverde is pretty much there. And I think Camavinga is on his way to being there. But we need world class now. I'm glad you shared my view on how rubbish TalkSport is. They're just always really behind Alex. You know, we've been interested in Tony for how long? They've now joined the party. On 5'9", 169 pounds. We might have to put a few more pounds on you, Milton, to be fair, but I think you're pretty much solid, mate. I say we keep Richie for this season, get someone that will give him competition, because this year the striker market is awful. We're too risky to try and replace. We're not going to replace Richie. I don't think he's going, but we would add a striker to Richie, you know? We would add, you know, let's say it is an Ivan Toney. You'd have an Ivan Toney and a Richie. You'd have a Solanke and a Richie, a Jimenez and a Richie, you know? Hill plus 20 million, 5 million for Geertruida. I reckon Spurs would try and do Hill and 20 million, knowing them. I'm quick and have pace. Well, can you cover counter-attacks? Because enough people complain about them. Striker market is awful. I don't think it's awful, Marshall. I think it's the opposite. I think striker market is actually pretty solid this summer. Better than it has been in years. Like, years. There was, for such a long time, there was no real number 9s that were any good. Now, we're talking about a good handful that are pretty solid. I'm not saying they're world-class, but they're solid. And next summer, to be honest, I don't see next summer being anything crazy for strikers. I don't. I think this summer, because of Copa America and the Euros, you'll probably find there's more there. Wieffer looks so he's the same height as Onana, covers a lot of ground. He's way more technical. Yeah, I'd still rather Onana though, because Prem proven. I live in Oz. I'll speak to Ange. He's not in Perth or Melbourne anymore, is he? He might be back home I say back home in England. He's back to work in England. Geertrude has a bit of mongrel about him and will be great, and his offensive stats are great. Yeah, I don't hate the Geertrude move. I don't hate the move at all. But then it's like, is that the centre back move? Because I could do with a left back at centre back. We don't need to have 4 right foot centre backs, you know. Yeah, honestly, what is with the market? Lots of wingers, but no actual good striker. I think they're good strikers. I don't think it's crazy great strikers, you know. I think there's a lot of solid strikers. I mean, you got Guirassy, who scored a goal a game in the Bundesliga this year. You've got Solanke that scored 1 in every 2 for a team who are tipped to get relegated. And after a little while this season, everyone thought they were getting relegated. You know, you've got Ivan Toney, who last season was fantastic. This season obviously struggled a little because of rust. You know, Joshua Zirkzee, pretty exciting player. You've got Gyökeres, who scored, 45 in all competitions or whatever it is, pretty solid. God, who else are we in for? I do this every time. I get stuck halfway through. I mean, Dovbyk, he's pretty solid from Girona. Yeah, you know what I mean? They're solid strikers. And in the right system with the right coaching, you can improve players. It's not all about buying, he's ready now. Sometimes there's nothing wrong with getting someone just a little bit below and building them through coaching, you know? We're linked to all these players, but we twiddle our thumbs and watch our targets somewhere else. Well, sometimes, Kookaburra, it's not always about that. They could be on the list. It doesn't mean they're right up the list, you know? Spurs aren't always going to go for the guys like 8th and 9th on the list. They'd be happy for them to move on sometimes. Could we go for players from Saudi League? No, thank you. I would like whatever you're smoking, Andy. Striker market is absolutely awful. I think you have unrealistic expectations, Marshall. You talk about Semi-Calixoi, but you think Gyökeres is awful. You think Solanke's awful. Tony's awful. They're not awful, mate. They're just not. I think Intruder's a right back, not centre back. He'd be back up to Poro, would be a replacement of Emerson. Wait, no, he can also play centre back Alexis. That's kind of that's what the vibe I was going for. Andy, would you take Brozovic? No. I think he's just a little bit too old now, to be honest. Would have had him a few years back, but I think it's just not the right time now, you know? Just imagine if we had pre-Kane strikers at the time. We had Defoe, Keane, now Obbs, we still love Kane. I mean, quality and depth. Well, don't forget in that time, you had Berbatov as well. I loved Berbatov so much. I absolutely loved Berbatov. I think we're linked with so many people because of how Parachi operates. I checked updates every day and it's a new player, smoke screens every, not telling who we actually end up with. Well, that's smart. Don't let anyone know what you're trying to do. But we're going to report on all the links that we get, decipher them, work out if we like them or not, and go from there. Tony is too old for Richie competition. You're never too old. Never too old to touch an old dog, new tricks. Yeah, but they're all about potential, though. There isn't a proven good number 9. Tony isn't one. Osimhen's 100 million. Well, this is the thing, mate. Like, you want a proven number 9. They're world class. They're going to cost big money. Harry Kane, Osimhen. You know, people talk about Gyökeres. Gyökeres, is he proven in a top 5 league? But people seem to love him. But people then don't rate a Solanke, who's got 1 in every 2 this season in the Premier League, or Garas, who's got 1 in every game in the Bundesliga, which technically you could sit there and say is a top 2 league in the world at the moment. The top 3. So yeah, half the time it's just personal preference, and people like players more than other players. It's all preference at the end of the day. You know, people like Jimenez, right? People really rate Jimenez. They really, really like him. He's an Eredivisie striker. His last half of the season wasn't as amazing as his first half. There's nothing wrong with thinking he's going to be a good player, but then they go, he's better than Solanke. What makes you think that? Well, he scores goals, and you know, and it's like, well, you've not really given me anything though. I've seen Solanke week in, week out in the Premier League. I've seen Tony week in, week out in the Premier League. Gyökeres has done it in the Portuguese league, in the best team in the Portuguese league, you know, or one of the top 2 in the league, maybe 3 if you want to throw in Benfica and Porto. So you see what I mean? It is all your own thoughts and feelings about it. And I can't wait for someone to go, Gyökeres is miles better than Solanke. What are you on about? And me going, oh my God, you've just not listened to what I've just said, have you? You've just taken what you think I've said and then used it for your own self. I was going to say Berber as well. Berber, that goal against Charlton, I still think about all the time. The flick past the defender to run past him. Oh, cook. Not buying Ito as rewarded, not going to lie. Well, I mean, were Spurs ever truly going for him? Because he's only the release scores. But if Spurs aren't going to be going for that release scores, were they truly ever wanting him? Cleck's always world class. He's not world class, mate. He has the ability to be world class, but he's not world class. World class is like what Real Madrid have bought this summer. Mbappe. They have Vinicius, Bellingham. You know, that's world class. Man City, world class players in that team. Does Calixto start for either of those teams? No, he doesn't. Has the ability to be world class? Yeah, sure. But he needs time. Can we get Ruben Neves? Probably not. Probably not. On way too much money. And don't forget what Saudi actually paid to buy him as well, you know. Tottenham are preparing a £40 million bid for Ivan Toney. Chances of Brentford accepting seems high. Haven't seen it. Haven't seen it, mate, to be honest. Let me know where you saw it, but I haven't seen it personally. Solanke solid. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I'm not saying they're world-class strikers. I'm just saying they're solid to good, you know. And with the right coaching, they can take that step to being great, you know. I think a lot of people have way misunderstood my point. If Roberto Firmino was 2 years younger, I'd have taken him. But Firmino was class at Liverpool. He really was. But he didn't score those goals. So because he didn't score those goals, he can't be class. He was great. He made Salah and Mane so much better. And without Firmino, I don't think those players are as half as good. Kessie, a big addition. Yeah, we're too far gone on the Kessie front now, mate. If the striker would catch fire with the right system, for example, Mateta was pony the first half of the season, was on fire, and the Glasner system surprised no one would take a cheeky gamble on it. Not us, though. It's because they probably want like 40 million from him, and people are going, what, for like 12 games? Are you joking? We have to win something soon or our whole back line is going to leave. Well, I think your 3 of them would stay, but Romero would be the one that's like, I need to move. I need to win stuff. Apologies, the recycling men are starting to recycle outside. So if you hear them, I do apologise. All right. I want Eze to be the first, to be the priority signing, get him first, and address other positions of need if the budget allows it. Well, there'll be budget, will be no issues. But yeah, I would love Eze as well, mate. Pedro Mendes disallowed goal. Roy Carroll fumbling it over the line and slapping it out. Like, Milton, mate, you're in Australia. The ball was that far between me being in England, you in Australia. That's how far it was over the line, and they still didn't give it. Have you watched him play? Well, not live, but I've seen all the clips that I needed to see where I think he has ability to be world-class. True. Is he now? Not at all. I don't want the guy to be Harry Kane caliber kind of player, though. Someone that, 90% will get the job done. Exactly, Van Gogh. Like, you're not going to get a Harry Kane. You know what I mean? Osimhen is not Harry Kane. That's my point. Harry Kane is the best striker in the world. You're not going to get that, Have you got a girlfriend at it? Don't be like my granny, Hogan, mate. Don't be doing it. Shouldn't they have started the window 2 weeks ago? Now the Euros are getting in the way. I don't. Well, thing is, the season technically hasn't finished in early June, has it? You know, that's probably why. Off the top, number 9s, who would you rather? R9, Van Basten, George Weah, Zlatan. Give me R9 and then Van Basten. And then those other two can fight it out for third. But yeah, Van Basten was one that obviously retired early and was robbed of an absolutely incredible career. R9 was injured towards the end, but was fantastic. You know, the man who played for rival teams and then played for the other team, and they don't hate him enough. If any of the good forwards are picked, they should do well with the amount of ball coming in. Exactly. I think we're linked with some solid strikers. Are they world class? No. Can they be great? Yeah, absolutely. You know what I mean? Give Brentford Reguilon in the Tony deal. I think. Well, supposedly Reguilon wants the Champions League move, which, you know, I also want to be 6'7". But if he rated Brentford and liked being at Brentford, it could be a little ploy to doing it. But then obviously Rico Henry might be back from injury, so they may not want him. I do think we'll most likely end up with Tony. If we get a better right winger, or at least Kula and Johnson better, Tony and Richie will score a lot. I think they'll score a lot for sure. Kulu put in a lot of chances that we just weren't finishing first half of the season. He had like the most chances created in the Premier League at one point. It was bonkers. Just need someone that's going to just put the ball between that goal. That's it. And the occasional winning of fouls and things like that, which I think Sonny just can't do. That's not his game, is to win fouls, you know. I think Bentancur will make a good number 6. Bentancur, I think, is our best midfielder. So we just need to get him on the pitch. We could swap Lo Celso with Tony for about 20 to 35 million. I don't know. Do you see Lo Celso wanting to go to Brentford? I don't. We're just reinforcing the point. It's more about the right player for the right system. Doesn't technically have to be the best striker. Preach it, Dean. Preach it, bud. Gyökeres might be the best striker out of all of our list. Doesn't mean he's the right player. Wait for someone to go, he is the right player. Honestly, with this market, I wouldn't mind Tony. Rather Solanke, though. Let's just see. Yeah, exactly. Let's just see. I don't think Tony would suit our style of play. That's your opinion, Sofian. I've not thought about it enough, to be honest. And if Ange wants Tony, then I want Tony. If Ange wants Solanke, I want Solanke. If Ange wants Milton up front, I want Milton up front. All right? Follow what your manager should want. Back your manager, because at the end of the day, he's the one that has to train him. He's the one that has to pick him, you know? Would you swap Son for Isaac and Bruno? Yeah, I would, mate. Yeah. Isaac and Bruno, yeah. Then I'd sell Bruno for 100 million and then go buy someone else. But Isaac, you know, Isaac's going to be 150 odd million. Bruno's 100 million. You're talking about a 250 million pound deal. Then yeah, I probably would. Who do you see as our Son replacement? Do you know what? I'll put some faith in this one. Mikey Moore. Why don't we say him for now? Let's back a youth player. In terms of signing someone, not a clue, mate. It's hard to replace a Son. Notice Ku's been using his right foot a lot more. It's clear he's been training his weaker foot. Hopefully more of that next season. Yeah, he bloody does need to start using his right foot more. He does. Window opens in 30 hours. Does it? I don't exactly know what time of the day it opens. Decky was just unlucky with form. When he was creating chances, nobody could finish him. When he was out of form, suddenly Richie went through the almighty purple swell that no one expected. According to a report in Sicolo XIX, as relayed by Calcio Mercato, Spurs are considering moving 17-year-old Padova defender Giovanni Leone. Not seen it, mate. I'll have to check it out. Go Milton. Go Milton every day, buddy. And regarding the window, a success so far. Getting rid of it in Ndombele is making it 10 out of 10. The grade could change in the coming weeks, though. We've got a lot of work to do. Listen, a lot of work before I start grading this window. I didn't expect anyone to be in this early, if I'm honest. I sort of expected maybe someone in about a week's time. When are you live? Not meaning now every day night. Justin, good question. In UK time, we're doing 12 o'clock, obviously, how I started today. 12 o'clock is normally UK time. I was 10 minutes late today. And 7 o'clock UK time. And obviously, anything breaking happens, then yeah, I'll go live. But in reality, it's just those two. And then I'll be adding in some new different lives from time to time, doing some other things. All right, maybe on a different channel, but just for now, these two. I think Nico Williams will be our Son replacement. I think by then it'll be, you know, it'll be a bit too late for that one because it'll end up being way more than we'd ever want to play for him. Jim the Rat. Recycling men up the road. Jim the Rat Glazer out. Don't know who that is. Albert Gudmundsson looks good from Genoa. I tell you what, you're going to wait for someone to tell you about the Gudmundsson case in a second. I'll tell you that. Off to bed. Milton, mate, get yourself some sleep. All right? Get yourself some sleep. I will no doubt see you at the 7 o'clock one for a bit of a chat then, knowing you, mate. All right? Sleep tight, and I'll see you then, mate. All right? Gudmundsson might be off to jail. Brutal. I'm a United fan. Well, Khaled, this is a Spurs channel, buddy. This is a Spurs channel. We got no Glazers in charge of us, bud. Luckily, I'm glad. And we also have a stadium that's not falling apart, which is nice. We're not raiding Liverpool for Trent Alexander-Arnold, buddy. Real Madrid might, but we're not. Top Spurs are dusty on and off the pitch. Khaled, mate, it'd be funny if, you could give banter that made sense. Top Spurs doesn't make any banter, buddy. Do you want to have another go? Khaled, have another go. We'll see if we can get this right the next time, all right? Yeah, Jonathan, we're not Man United, yeah. Good Lord. Don't have a stadium that gives you free showers. I remember going to Manchester. I remember seeing Old Trafford up close because I remember Mark Goldbridge on the United stand was like, the stadium's falling apart. It's cracks. It's this, that, and the other. And I was like, I'm in Manchester. Let me have a quick look at it. And it was the summer that Ronaldo signed. And it was probably only a few days after Ronaldo signed. And I remember going, I can see cracks. I can literally see cracks in all of the foundation. And then I went to see the Etihad and I was like, yeah, there's no cracks. This feels like an actual stadium. I was like, why is it so different? Why is it so difficult? Ange Poston, no clue. Goldfish is a clown. Khaled, mate, your banter is actually awful, buddy. Oh, anyway, I still need you to go back to Top Spurs. Go back to that one. Go back to that one so we can have I need you to redo that one because I want to try and help you with your banter. All right. The stream is lagging a lot for me. Might just have to take a sleep. Is it lagging for everyone else? I don't know if it is or not. At least get a stadium like I did. Daniel Levy's the guy. He got a new stadium, didn't he? Old Trafford gives the true meaning. It is old as hell, isn't it? Honestly, Eze, Gallagher, Slanky / Tony sounds good. It does sound good, mate. I think a lot of us would take that. No lag. Okay, well, that's all right. Well, maybe Van Gogh, mate, maybe just close YouTube, reopen it, and see if that does anything for you. Right. Do you know what, Justin, mate? I like this idea. What I want you to do is I want you to vote on this. Would you take this? Okay. Would you be happy if Spurs signed did this business? All right. Try that. See how that goes. No lag. Good. Jimenez, Bakayoko, and Gallagher. Yeah, we're not getting Bakayoko though, Sofiane, bud. We don't have our own waterfall at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. We have a water riser, but that's the beer coming up from the bottom of the glass. Edison, Appender, Eze, and a defender. Yuvraj, that would be great. Top Spurs are looking dusty on and off the pitch. Khaled, you keep saying that, but it's really bad banter. Right, come on. Try again. Give me something. Because I'm trying to help you, Khaled, to get better at banter so you can troll people better. Because so far, 1 out of 10. We can do better here, Khaled. Try again for me, buddy, all right? Jimenez is our slipper to our Cinderella, our Sonny to our Cher, our posh twice to our David. Angelo, that's impressive. You've done that. Who said no? There's a few people who said no. If Eze, Gallagher, Solanke, yes. Tony, no. Yeah, but like it's you know what I mean. There's a slash in there. Not Gallagher for me. Think we should look at other options potentially. It's very fascinating that if we had signed these 3 guys, there's people going, no, can you take McSauce and Harry from us? See, that's all right, banter, Khaled. That is all right, to be fair, bud. I mean, they don't get anywhere near our starting 11. But you should sell them, in my opinion. Yeah, I do think you should sell those. Well, McSauce actually cares about Man United, unlike half the team. But what can you do? Gallagher apparently staying. I talked about it yesterday, Jonathan. Need a defender in there. Yeah, no, Yuvraj, I know about that. But what I'm saying is these three, would you, if we signed these three, would you be happy? There's more to do, but these three, and Solanke or Tony is obviously just one option. Would rather prioritise a 6 over Gallagher. I'd rather Fofana than Gallagher, but will we do it is another question. But it's fascinating. There's quite a few of you actually don't want to sign those three players. You can have Brian Hill. We have the Bull Dutch Derby next season. You do. You do. I'm interested to see how Slot does, actually. Obviously, got a really good team at Liverpool, but there's still some work to do on that starting 11. We need a 6. I think Basuma's a good 8. Basuma's a good 8, yeah. I think we need a 6. Again, I think a lot of people are misconstruing my point. I'm just saying, if this was part of the list of players that we sign, and there's these three, would you take it? Not as a collective. Interesting. Do you rate mascara? Well, mascara is a makeup product for girls. So I don't know what you mean. Who you mean by that? One of the three, Eze, please. Our midfielders are all 8, no 6s. Yeah, but do you remember Ange said it was like, I don't see any player being one position or the other. I just look at them being as midfielders. Solanke or Tony, can you do a poll? Sofian, we did it before. I think Tony won it by about 65-35%. Matt O'Reilly at 6. Maybe, but then people will be really unhappy because it shows no ambition to sign a Celtic player. So you can't win, unfortunately, with some fans. I couldn't ever pick a team in the Premier League to go for now. I'm forever Spurs. Now it's going to be a great season coming up. Go, Ange. Great show. Cheers, Timothy, mate. Thank you very much, buddy. Really appreciate that. Do you know me, Maresca? We'll see what happens at Chelsea. We'll see what happens. We need Fofana badly. Yeah, he'd be great. Message Celtic. You expect me to get on the phone with Brendan Rodgers? Oh, that's all right, Sofian. Yeah, it was about 65-35 to Tony, the poll. It was about that, give or take a few percentage either side. Yeah, he did win that one. I'm not sure as to why people do rate Tony more than Solanke. I'd be interested to know if anyone wants to give me their opinion on that. But I've not seen anyone give me like a definitive one, because somewhat that people give me Solanke needs to do it for more than one season in the Prem, but then like Tony, who's done it for one season in the Prem, and it's like, yeah, what? That's right. Hit the like. Yeah, appreciate that one, Jonathan. Yeah, hit the like if you haven't already. Subscribe if you're new, lads. Cheers. And Don Bele is world class. Okay. Callum, mate, why don't you, watch Man United channels? I'm confused. You join a Spurs one. We're not even talking about players that Man United are in for. It's bonkers, that. Edison, Eze, Pender. That would be, Lex, that would be, a good time. I want an international starter for a striker. I'm not as fussed about it, because technically you wouldn't have an Ollie Watkins because he's not a starter, And I'd have Ollie Watkins as a starter. I'd have Ollie Watkins up front for Spurs every day of the week. Once he's back to his pre-injury form, I think Bentancur will be great in the 6 role. Yeah, for sure. Oh, yeah. I think he's going to be fantastic next year, Bentancur. I really do. I think he's going to take a big leap next year. Tony got the swagger Iceman. I saw he got a tattoo of the word him on his hand, which I can't lie. It's clapped. It's awful. It's absolutely awful. Edison. Well, give me one of those 3 strikers, Van Gogh. Can't pick 3. Must sign any player with the name Zhao, even if he's a greengrocer up the street. I better check on the greengrocers around me, mate. I'll be walking in there. Is anyone called Zhao in here? Right, come with me. We're off to Spurs. The people who are staunch Tony or Solanke seem to be punishing Solanke because he's played basically his whole career in the Prem. Yeah. I just think people have a favourite, and that's what they are. Expressions. Fair enough. You're allowed your opinion. I don't personally watch him. I'd have Lewis Openda, and he's not an international starter. That's my point. Being an international player, I totally get that point, but starter, that is a push for me. Look at the amount of French players that don't start, and honestly, a lot of them would probably start for Spurs. Sorry, a lot of them would start for Spurs. So there's that. give you an update, sorry, really quickly for tomorrow. The 12 o'clock stream will be a slight bit delayed because I'm getting a haircut at 11:30. All right. So it'll probably be 12:15, 12:20 and somewhere in that realm, maybe 12:30. All right. We'll be we'll have it then. All right. So apologies, it's going to be a tad bit later, but I've got to stop looking so homeless and look a little bit more as a normal human being. I'd have Lois. Yeah, sorry, I've done that. Don't we have a striker we signed last season and went on loan? Do you mean Valise, Jonathan? He'll go on loan next season as well. Spurs cooking 10th next season. Okay. Romano said one more forward signing. Wouldn't mind it if Torres a Pender. Oh, yeah. I wouldn't mind that as well, mate. Wouldn't mind as well. Another perm, Andy. Nah. The days of me having perms are gone. I used to have them for years, but they're gone now. It's just this mess on my top of my head. It's like a paintbrush. Look, just doing the walls. I want Marcus. If our midfield next season is Eze, Madison, Edison with Saar, Bentancur, and Bissouma competing, we'll cook. Oh, yeah, rate that. But I don't see that happening. I want Marcus Thuram. Well, he's not leaving. He's not leaving Inter. Matisse Tell is not an Inter starter. I love him at Spurs. Linked to him last summer, weren't we? Mullet. I've been told because I've been in Australia and I can grow a tash, shave the beard, grow a mullet, and I'll be ready to be adopted by Australia. I'm a bit curious how Burval will do this preseason. I hope he makes the squad and isn't loaned out. He won't be loaned out. He'll be in the squad, bud. He'll be in the squad. Marcus Thuram is awful. Sofian, I think you're a bit too far with some of your opinions. Like Marcus Thuram's not awful. He's not. He may not be your favorite cup of tea, but he is solid. Okay, and he's been solid for a few years. And again, I think a few of you maybe have gone too far with you. If you're not world class or good, then you're rubbish. There's nothing in between, and there is. Thoughts on Marcus Edwards? He was a star boy, and yeah, right now I truly don't know if he's going to leave Sporting Lisbon this season. They're looking like they want to move on from him, but Spurs fans are delusional. Lul. Okay. Porch magic. Do you have magic when you're in your porch? Interesting. I think a couple of under 21 players. Yeah, I think a couple will. We talked about Scarlett. A striker will be in there. He likes Tyrese Hall. He likes Mikey Moore. With Wieffer gone and Edison might be off the table. If we can't get Fana, who else can get? So, what other six can we get? Anana? Yeah, hang on. Sorry, lads. I just went on Khaled's profile. He does Fortnite, FIFA Mobile. The only reason stopping Sterling joining the Saudi League, so he's got terrible takes. I think he does Mario Kart. He plays chess. Oh, a year ago he put the top 10 best Fortnite skins. There you go. There's some ammunition, lads. Enjoy that one. Buzz cut with blonde peroxide tomorrow, Andy. It's you, mate. My hair and my hairline would not allow that. I'd have to get a little transplant first. Do you see Valise in the squad next season if he performs good in preseason? No, I think he'll go on loan. I think he's going to keep Scarlett or Parrott. And if he keeps Scarlett, I think he sells Parrott. I think that's my prediction. I could be wrong, but that's just my prediction off the top of my head. I think they want to get Valise like regular game time. There's something magic on my own porch. I watched some incredible sunsets from there. Hell yeah, listen, bro. That's what we talk about. By any chance, listen, do you ever have it with summer fruit squash? I reckon it goes a little bit better. He needs homegrown players. Yeah, exactly. Well, the homegrown players, mate, we're looking to get them in. That's why we're linked with Tony's. That's why we're linked with Solanke's and Gallagher's, Marcus Edwards. I mean, the other thing as well, with the homegrown side of things, there are players that are coming through our own system that we quite like. Your Mikey Moores, your Tyrese Halls, Don Lees, and all that stuff, I'm not getting a reverse skin fade. I'll get just normal skin fade. How about that? And what I normally do is 0.5 into 1. Little jar in there. 0.5 into 1. And I take quite a bit off the top. And I look somewhat professional. Yeah, when I was in my last jobs and I'd have a haircut like this, people used to look at you like. So yeah. Emerson the same amount of goals as Anthony this season. Oh my god. That can't be true, surely? Is that actually true, KVN? Kool-Aid addict Andy. Hell yeah. And by Kool-Aid, I mean obviously sunfruit squash. Like I said, Kool-Aid, we've got a bet with Kool-Aid at the end of the season, all right? Yeah, Callum, bro, just look, join the stream, participate. Even if you're not a Spurs fan, participate. Just don't try and take over the stream, Brody. All right. We name players at the end and we fall short of the finances. Well, I don't think finances will be short of this year. I just think also the market hasn't truly got going yet. Been some outgoings, but I don't think it's gonna be anything mental. You've not seen any Premier League sides do anything crazy yet, have you? Not even Man City, who have Man City officially signed Savio yet or not? But I mean, that's only moving from one of your clubs in the City umbrella to another one, you know? They might promote the goalkeeper from under 21. Well, Keeley obviously got called up to the Republic of Ireland squad, but obviously you got Austin, who just signed a long-term deal. So I'm like, can I get a quick recap on Solanke, please? Chelsea are interested in him, Jacob. There you go. That's quite easy. 10 years ago, we'd have had Eden, Dzeko, Ibra, Tevez, and Nelka. There's so many players in there. These and this came to my minds. We did have good Johnson, mate. We actually did have good Johnson. There you go. Ball knowledge for you. We should promote some academy players for the homegrown quota. Buying back old players is a bit humiliating. Well, it's not humiliating. A lot of teams do it. Mikey Moore step up to the under 21s. I think Mikey Moore's going to be in and around the first team. And if he doesn't play at a weekend, then yeah, maybe he plays the under 21 game. But I think he'll be in and around the first team. Saw Marcus Thuram a lot. Yeah, Sofian, dude, like the guy was good in the Bundesliga. The guy's been solid in Serie A. I don't know what else you want to say about it, dude. And I'm not saying we're not in for him as well. So forget Ange system and Thuram. He's not moving anywhere. In the Premier League, Emerson has 1 goal and Anthony has 1 goal and assist. 85 million for 1 goal and assist. Good money spent there. Dean, what do you think so about? I'm confused, bud. Ten Hag is saying, yeah, he is staying. Stay away from the mother. My son has grown one just to stir me up. Putrid. I might have to do it as well now just to annoy you, Percival, because I've got the start of it. The back is, it's fairly long. Give me a few months, I could have one. I'm getting a skin fade. I'm getting a fade, mate. So don't worry, you'll be fine. I'll have shorter hair tomorrow. I won't be able to put it into a ponytail or anything. Get a little top knot. I'd look like an idiot with a top knot. I can already tell. Feels like we are dropping the ball on all of our targets. No, these aren't our main targets. I don't think, mate. I also think with a lot of our targets, they're on the list, but they're not high up. So therefore, Spurs don't mind them going, if you know what I mean. Other than Kane, what Tottenham player from the last 10 years would you want in this Tottenham team? Moussa Dembele. Bergvall with a massive bonus once he gets set into our team system. Sorry, I think he'll have a human highlight reel in a few months. Yeah, he's gonna be great. I can't wait. How much we'd have to pay to get Anthony Gordon? 100 plus. Go bald. Nope. Mullet and mustache for November. I tell you what with June, I could probably grow a mullet. The mustache is easy. That I can grow in a day. I could probably do those two for November for sure, Daniel. Daniel, if you spend £250 million a summer, I would, but you're not going to, are you? So I'm not going to do it for you. Bale and Gaza. Justin, he said over the last 10 years. Gaza's a long time gone. Do braids. I don't know if I've got the hair for it, mate. Be a little bit too short. Plus, I've not got the hairline for it. You know? Well, Florian Wirtz is going to cost about 150 million. Grow it then. Mate, it's already too far long anyway. It's already too far long. Can reach my eye. Nah, it needs to be cut, lads. It needs to be cut. I need to look professional. My mum's only called me a tramp a couple of times. Marshall thinks I look handsome. Cheers, buddy. Thanks, buddy. Cheers, buddy. Right, Callum, mate, you are a bit boring now, all right? So, there we go. Khaled's gone. More. Nah. It's 11:30 tomorrow, mate. I'm gonna get him. I'm gonna get in the chair, and he's gonna spin me around in his chair. Although I will tell you this, lads, my hairdresser is an Arsenal fan. There's a few of them. There's an Arsenal, there's a Spurs, and Man United, and a Brighton fan. So all over the place, really. But the Gooner, he cuts good hair, so fair play to him. And we had good banter. We have good banter about it. He might pass me in the street. What was it? I think it was just after they drew to City. He passed me in the street, going, "It's on," and I went, "Give it time." And yeah, ended up when I next saw him was like, "Yeah, fair enough." I was like, "I'm not even going to give you the banter, mate. You've probably already been scolded enough." And he would come back with a hill cut, and he just straightened my hair. Maybe. How about that? Maybe. I don't know. I'd rather look like a paintbrush. I think maybe not this week, Sofian, but maybe earlier next week. I hope so. Do you know any underrated English players? I know Adam Wharton, Anthony Gordon. It depends. Honestly, mate, it just depends if you're thinking Prem players or you're thinking, pardon me, you're thinking players from beyond. Spurs and talks with Emerson, club etc. Yeah, talked about it yesterday. Already blocked him. Yeah, no. I let him go for a little while because it was funny, but then yeah, he just wouldn't stop, and I was like, it's a bit dead now, to be honest. The banter was appalling as well. I tried to give him opportunities to actually solve his banter and give me something good, but it was a waste of time. Key is maybe to take advantage of the homegrown rules, and when other teams are scared to play youth, look at the hyperinflated markets of the content. Well, that's the idea, that teams are trying to build their academies up, so then they don't actually have to rely on spending 100 million on a player when they go, well, we've got a guy here who in a year's time is worth 60, 70 million, you know? And hopefully that's what Mikey Moore and Tyrese Hall and Donnelly and Bergval, all these, I mean, Bergval's 8.5 million. Why in a year's time is he not worth 40 million, you know, 50 million, you know? So and Mullet is worn around here by the likes of Daryl the Westie. I tell you what, when I went to Fraser Island in Australia, and I was staying in Noosa, and I went to Australia, went to Fraser Island. The guy that was driving the van was Daryl. His name was Daryl, and he was a bloody legend. There was a snake in the road as we were driving through, and he was telling me about the snake. He said it's the second most poisonous snake in the world. And this is when I knew Australians were just crazy. He just walked up to it, grabbed it, and just launched it over this little hill in this forest. And I was like, yeah, I'm not even shocked anymore. And he was telling me other stories, and I was like, yeah, Daryl's a nutter. Romero seems like a kind of guy that pushed for Real Madrid move. I think he just pushes for success, Liston. You know? How does Tomori not get in the England squad? Because Southgate doesn't like to watch anyone abroad unless it's Jordan Henderson. And he only picks Harry Kane and Jude Bellingham because he has to. But even he fought for a while not to pick Jude Bellingham, trust me. And then he did only for a little while because of PR, and then realised actually Bellingham's not a bad player. He actually does have to be in the squad. But he never goes and watches them play. But he went to watch Jordan Henderson play in Ajax. Can we have Alejo Lee's back? I think he goes out on loan, to be honest, mate. Also, Luca, the defender, will be home. Oh, yeah. Vuskovic in 25, yeah. The word is Southgate's last tourney as England coach. Come on, get in there. Woo! There you go. I'm putting in celebrations. Loads of them as well. Woo! No more Southgate. Get in there. Get in there. Tottenham could offer Hill a swap deal for Nesri. Could cost Spurs. Rooney, are you trying to be an ITK, buddy? I've sent me a few messages so far. You trying to be an ITK? Ange will click and we will be fighting Arsenal for the league title for a lot of years. Come Man City will be discontinued due to the 115 charges they face. Ange's Ozball. Love it, Justin. I'd love it. But we shall see. Right. Looking at what's ahead for today. I will still ask a question in a second, but looking at what's coming ahead for the rest of the day. We are back obviously live at 7 o'clock this evening. We'll be talking some more transfers. I do have something I want to talk about as well on 7 o'clock, which I will. So we'll be talking about that. Obviously, do some more. I think we'll do more Q&A side of things at 7 o'clock about Spurs. We'll do some polls. I think a lot more at the 7 o'clock one. Got some things I want to talk about on 7 o'clock for polls wise. So we'll be doing that. When Levy got launched by that bus driver, Daryl, you mentioned, he was never the same since. Honestly, crazy. But then he said he had stakes for me. So I was like, I'm sold. I'm sold. If Alejo impresses at preseason, should he stay with the squad? Honestly, that guy already killed a year. Potentially, but it depends on the right move. England have like one left-footed player in the whole squad. Sure. Palmer, boom. Pickford, 3. Nailed it. Nailed it. Yeah, Jonathan, I'll be off in a second. Thanks, mate. Appreciate that. Poll on your haircut. I tell you what, you've Raj, join me for the 7 p.m. stream and tell me that, and we'll do a poll for it on the 7 p.m. stream. But anyway, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you did enjoy it. Drop a like on the video if you did. Hit me in the comment section down below. Any thoughts and feelings, I'll answer them post-stream. Obviously, subscribe if you haven't subscribed already. And yes, I'll see you all in, well, just under 6 hours for another stream. Take care, everyone. Enjoy the rest of your days. See you later.